You wake up one day, and boom, you're the spiritual CEO of Athens. No training manual, no HR, no lunch break. You handle festivals, public scandals, and legal crises while wearing layers of fabric in 40 degrees Celsius heat. Meanwhile, men in togas act shocked that you have authority. Born into a sacred lineage, you arrive in Athens in the late 400s BCE, and the house reacts like it just won a prize. Your family, the Etioboutidai, is famous. Old money, old power, and old temple duties. People hear your family name and think of Athena's main shrine on the Acropolis. They also think of political deals whispered behind marble columns. You are born into a job you never applied for. As a girl, you do not get the standard Athenian education. No speeches, no wrestling, no long talks about justice in the agora. Your teachers are women inside the home. They teach you how to weave, run a household, manage servants, and keep the storeroom full. For most girls, that is the full plan. Marriage, children, silence in public. End of story. Your story has a twist. Older relatives study you like inspectors. You are not just a child. You are a potential future priestess. When the women gather, they talk about marriages and dowries. But they also whisper about rituals, festivals, and which cousin once carried a sacred basket in a big parade. You hear names of gods more often than names of boys your age. The most important person on the Acropolis is not a general or a speaker. It is a priestess, standing near Athena's altar, calm and respected. Men listen to her. That sticks in your mind. By 10, you know the smell of burnt bones on an altar. You know the flash of a blade used in sacrifices. You hear the ritual cry women shout when the omen looks good. You watch young girls, some only 7, chosen to help start weaving Athena's sacred robe. They get to live on the Acropolis for a year. You want that badge of honor more than any doll? Chosen by sacred lottery. You reach young adulthood, maybe around 18, and the pressure builds. Marriage talks start first. Your family needs you married, because only married women can serve as priestesses in major cults. A husband means stability, property links, and legal status. You meet a man your relatives approve of, and before you know it, you are part of a new household. Your wedding is loud, crowded, and full of wine you barely get to taste. You now have the one credential the city cares about. You are a wife. Soon after, the real moment arrives. The city announces that the office of High Priestess of Athena needs a new holder. This is not a private family choice. This is a civic process run by officials. Your name goes onto a list with other eligible women from the Etioboutidai. You do not campaign, you do not give speeches, you wait. The day of the lottery feels like a trial. Officials gather, likely near the Acropolis or another civic space, and the public watches. Men run the procedure. Women stand quietly, pretending they are fine. A device is used to draw lots. One slip will decide who controls the city's most sacred duties for life. Your heart races, but your face stays calm. Women are trained to look calm. Your name comes out. The crowd reacts. Some cheer because your family has a strong record of service. Others sigh because power always seems to circle back to the same clans. You step forward. You now hold a public religious office equal in visibility to many male magistrates. You cannot vote or speak in the assembly, but your role affects every major civic ritual tied to Athena. That includes sacrifices before wars, new laws, and major festivals. Officials confirm your status. You receive authority over sacred objects, temple access, and festival coordination. You gain lifetime tenure. No term limits. The only exit is death or extreme misconduct, and Athens does not like removing priestesses. The city wants stability in its rituals. You return home with your new title, and the mood shifts. Relatives treat you with caution and awe. Your husband looks proud and a little scared. You went from promising woman to public religious powerhouse in one draw. Purification and ritual preparation. The city does not hand you the keys to Athena's temple and say, good luck. First, you must prove you are clean, not just bathed. Ritually clean. That means days of controlled behavior. You avoid childbirth, death, sex, certain foods, and anything seen as polluting. One wrong visit or one unlucky event can delay your first ceremony. Athens takes purity rules very seriously. A bad omen can spark riots, or at least angry old men shouting at officials. Your first major step is a ritual bath. You wash in water drawn at a sacred source. It is cold, and you are watched to make sure the rules are followed. This is not a spa day. It marks a shift. You stop being a normal married woman and become a public sacred figure. After the bath, attendants dress you in special garments. Fine cloth, long folds, and a veil that signals status. You also receive jewelry or ribbons linked to the cult. Every piece has meaning. None of it is optional. Then come the rules. You get a briefing from temple staff. You learn what you can touch and what you must avoid. You must stay away from funerals. You must limit contact with blood outside of sacrifice. You must avoid certain rooms when you are bleeding. Yes, they track that. You also receive responsibility over sacred objects. That includes the keys to the temple, control of votive gifts, and access to storerooms that hold offerings and valuables. Losing a key would not just be embarrassing. It could trigger a legal case or public outrage. People leave expensive dedications to Athena, and someone has to protect them. That someone is you. You start learning prayers and ritual lines. You must speak them clearly and correctly. One misplaced word can ruin a ceremony. No pressure. Assistants practice with you, drilling each phrase until your voice sounds steady. You also rehearse movements, where to stand, how to pour, how to handle the knife during sacrifice oversight. Precision equals respect. Daily duties on the Acropolis. Your workday starts before most people finish yawning. You climb the Acropolis, skirt swishing, guards nodding, and you head straight for Athena's temple. First job, unlock the doors. The keys are heavy and loud. Good. They remind everyone that you control access to the goddess of the city, not the generals. You. Inside, you check the basics. Is the altar clean? Are yesterday's ashes cleared? Are the lamps filled? Is any idiot's half-rotten offering rotting a little extra today? If something looks off, a temple servant fixes it fast. You do not scrub floors. You direct people who scrub floors. Next, you deal with offerings. A wealthy man brings a bronze statue. A poorer woman brings a small clay figure or a garland. Both count. You approve where things go. Some objects stand in view. Others go into storerooms, carefully listed. The temple has more valuables than some private houses. You are part priestess, part museum director, part security system. Then come the private sacrifices. Families arrive with animals, usually sheep or goats, and nerves. They want a good sign for a marriage, a voyage, a court case. You guide the process. Sprinkle barley. Cut a few hairs from the animal. Watch the first drops of blood. If the signs look bad, you do not fake it. People came for the truth, not comfort. You also handle questions. People ask if a certain vow is allowed, if a ritual is valid, if they offended the goddess by forgetting a step. You explain the rules. Clear, firm, no sugar. Your job is to defend correct practice, not their feelings. Between rituals, you check accounts. The temple receives parts of sacrificed animals, oil, grain, and sometimes money. Someone has to track it and make sure nobody loses a nice piece of meat on the way home. You supervise scribes and servants who handle the numbers. If the records look wrong, you call it out. Leading the Great Panathenaia. Your first Great Panathenaia hits like a storm. It happens every 4 years, in late July or early August, and the whole city of roughly 250,000 people feels it. Smaller festival every year, big one every 4. You get the big one. Lucky you! The festival honors Athena's birthday, and Athens treats it like a mix of national parade, Olympics, and giant barbecue. Weeks before the date, work starts. Women weave the sacred peplos, a long robe for Athena's ancient wooden statue. The weaving team includes skilled ergastani and young girls called eraphoroi. They work for months, adding scenes of Athena beating giants in battle. Your job is to oversee the ritual parts. You check progress. You approve materials. You make sure nobody decides to add sparkles or new patterns without permission. Athens likes tradition. Change the stitch. Start a riot. The big day begins before dawn. You stand at the start of the procession near the Dipylon gate. Thousands join. Soldiers in armor, metics carrying trays, musicians with pipes, elders on carts, and young women called kanaphoroi holding sacred baskets. They walk in front. They symbolize purity and status. Their families flex that status like it is the latest trend. You lead the religious corps. Your voice sets the tone. You guide the slow climb up to the Acropolis. Heat bounces off stone. Sweat runs down necks. People still pretend to look graceful. The crowd watches from balconies and roofs. This is the moment. When the peplos is placed on the statue, the crowd cheers. For one day, you stand at the center of the city's identity. You are not background staff. You are the authority. Athens runs on ritual, and today, you run Athens. Sacred law and civic influence. Your middle years in office bring a new twist. You are no longer just the woman who runs sacrifices and locks doors. You are now the person officials fear when they want to push a law through fast. Athens has around 6,000 citizens who can vote, and they love voting. They pass laws, repeal laws, debate war strategies, and hold trials for anything from murder to grain fraud. Every major decision needs proper ritual. If the sacrifice looks wrong or the omen fails, the plan stalls. Guess who controls the ritual? You. A general wants to sail to Sicily. He needs a sacrifice at Athena's altar. You oversee it. The liver looks odd, the smoke blows the wrong way, the cry is weak. The crowd starts buzzing. You raise a hand. You say the signs are not favorable. The assembly freezes. Nobody wants to blame you. They blame the general, the weather, or the gods. You did not vote, but you changed the outcome. Officials start visiting you more often. They ask if a proposed festival date breaks sacred rules. They ask if a new temple plan violates old boundaries. They ask if a treaty oath can be sworn in your sanctuary. Some come with gifts, hoping for friendly rulings. You turn them away. Accepting bribes could bring legal charges and public shame. Athens loves a good scandal, and you do not want your name shouted in the courts. You also officiate oath ceremonies. Citizens swear to tell the truth in trials. Soldiers swear loyalty before campaigns. Ambassadors swear peace terms. Breaking an oath sworn in Athena's temple is more than rude. It risks divine punishment. People remember that, even if they forget their taxes. Sometimes you must argue with male officials. A council member wants to sacrifice at the wrong time of day. You say no. He argues. You quote, "Sacred law." He backs down because nobody wants to be the fool who angers the goddess. The council controls money and ships, but you control ritual correctness. Ritual response to crisis. Then Athens hits a wall. War breaks out with Sparta, and the city pulls tens of thousands of people inside its long walls. Farmers, families, animals, everyone packed into tight spaces. The streets smell like sweat and fear. You still climb the Acropolis each morning, but now you see tents and makeshift shelters all the way to the harbor. The city looks rich on paper and miserable in person. The first panic comes from the war itself. Before major battles, generals line up for sacrifices. They want a clear sign. Good smoke, good liver, good mood. You oversee the rituals. One general arrives shaking because his fleet is about to sail south. You watch the smoke blow straight back into his face. The crowd groans. You say the omen is weak. He sails anyway. Days later, news arrives that dozens of ships burned, men drowned, and families lost sons. People remember what you said. Nobody laughs at omens now. Then the real horror arrives. A plague hits the city around 430 BCE. Bodies pile up. Some people die within a week. Fever, rash, vomiting, death. Estimates say up to 1/4 of the population falls. Even Pericles, the top leader, dies. Families drag corpses to pyres. Funeral rules crumble. Panic spreads faster than the sickness. You cannot heal anyone, but you can give people one thing: ritual structure. You organize extra sacrifices to Apollo, the god linked to plagues. You lead processions, asking the gods to show mercy. The crowds look like ghosts. People pack the sanctuary seeking answers. They want signs, dreams, anything. You refuse to invent good news. You tell them the rites will continue, the gods will watch, and the city must keep order. Your voice becomes the calm center in a storm of rumors and grief. Food shortages follow. Sparta blocks grain routes. Bread prices rise. You oversee Thanksgiving sacrifices when grain shipments arrive from allies. When they do not, you hear the growl of angry stomachs echo in the courtyard. Status and public privileges. Your crisis work pays off in a very Athenian way. Public honors. Athens loves handing out awards almost as much as it loves lawsuits. One decree after another lists people who served the city well, and now your name appears on those stone slabs. Your name, a woman's name, carved in stone for everyone to read. Most women stay invisible in records. You break that rule. Your job also comes with perks. Real perks. You get front row seating at the theater, right near the officials. The best spot is called prohedria. While other women sit far away or stay home, you sit close enough to hear every joke and see every actor sweat under the masks. People glance at you to see if you laugh at the wrong time. Awkward, but also powerful. You often wear a crown during ceremonies, a golden wreath, shining in the sun, marking your status. No athletic race required. You get it for leading rituals that keep the gods happy. Crowns show honor, and Athenians love showing honor when it makes them look good. You also receive portions of sacrificed animals. The best cuts, like the thigh bones and certain organs, go to Athena, but you get a share too. Meat matters in a city where many people rarely taste it. Festival season turns you into the most popular dinner guest in town, even if nobody invites you for casual gossip. Some priestesses gain control over certain properties, or receive money for temple maintenance. You help manage temple funds and offerings. That means you handle resources that rival rich households. Theft or misuse could lead to trials, so you run a tight system. Then comes the biggest privilege: public voice without public punishment. You cannot vote, but when you speak about ritual law, men listen. Council members stop talking. Generals stop boasting. Your words shape the city's actions. Training future sacred women. Time moves fast. You wake up one morning and realize you are no longer the young priestess everyone whispers about. Now you are the one they point to when a girl forgets how to hold a basket without dropping barley on her own feet. You have become the trainer, the coach, the strict aunt who knows every ritual rule by heart. Your first group includes 2 araphoroi, girls around 7 to 11. They look tiny in their fine robes, but they carry big responsibility. They help start the weaving of Athena's sacred robe each year. They also take part in a secret nighttime ritual that nobody explains in detail. You know the steps, you guide them, no joking allowed. One mistake in a secret rite can spark rumors that last for decades. Athens loves gossip almost as much as it loves war. You also train kanaphoroi, teenage girls chosen to lead processions with baskets of sacred items. These baskets may hold knives, barley, ribbons, or other ritual pieces. The girls must walk slowly, look pure, and not faint in the heat. You teach them posture, pace, and how to ignore creepy old men staring from the crowd. Your training style is simple: clear rules, sharp corrections, praise only when earned. One girl slouches. You tap her shoulder. One girl tries to add extra flair. You shut it down. Rituals are not fashion shows. Tradition wins every time. You also coordinate with other priestesses. The Sanctuary of Athena is not the only show in town. The Priestess of Athena Nike handles victory offerings. The Priestess of Poseidon Erechtheus controls shared spaces on the Acropolis. During major festivals, you all must work together. Timing matters. One late procession can ruin a sacrifice schedule and create chaos. You run rehearsals in the temple courtyard. Girls practice lighting torches, carrying vessels, and standing in lines without scratching their noses. Servants watch. Mothers worry. You keep a calm face. Inside, you feel like you are herding sparrows. Some girls enter training shy and quiet. After a year under your guidance, they walk with confidence. They learn how to stand in public, how to speak in ritual, and how to handle tools without trembling. You know that these skills shape their futures. A girl who carries a sacred basket today may run her household with authority tomorrow. Athens thinks it chooses its priestesses. You know the truth. You train them. Succession after lifetime service. Years pass, and your joints start complaining before dawn prayers. You still climb the Acropolis, but the steps feel taller. Servants move faster. Young priestesses stare at you with a mix of awe and worry. They know what your slower pace means. Athens does not fire priestesses. Time does the job. Rumors begin quietly. Older women in your family whisper during festivals. Officials ask casual questions about health. A scribe asks for updated records, just in case. You smile. Everyone knows where this is going, but nobody says it out loud. Your office is for life, and life has limits. Then the formal process starts. The city prepares for a new High Priestess of Athena Polius. This is not a private handoff. A civic announcement goes out. Eligible married women from the Idiobutidai family are listed. Families argue behind closed doors. Every name on that list carries hopes, status, and political weight. The lottery happens again. Officials gather, citizens watch, and a device draws one name. The tension hits you harder this time. You know what the title costs. The chosen woman steps forward, eyes wide, head high, pretending she understands the workload ahead. She does not. Nobody does on day one. Your final duties begin. You unlock the temple one last time. You hand over the heavy keys, the same keys you carried for decades. You show the new priestess the storerooms. You explain which offerings need daily care and which donors complain the most. You reveal the location of important documents and the correct order of festival preparations. This transfer is not emotional, it is practical. Rituals must continue without a missing step. Temple staff adjust fast. Servants shift their attention. Scribes change the name on records. The city updates decrees. One line changes everything. During the priestessship of now belongs to someone else. Your role shrinks overnight. You no longer stand at the front of processions. You do not approve sacrifices or rule on sacred law. You watch from the side while the new priestess learns to hold power without dropping it. In this city, even sacred power has a replacement plan.